Picture this. A 15-year-old girl, trembling with fear, stands at the checkout counter of Sparkle Gems, a high-end jewelry store in Seattle's glitzy Pacific Place Mall. Maya Thompson clutches a $5,000 sapphire necklace she's been saving up for years to buy as a gift for her mom. But the store manager, Karen Reynolds, glares at her with pure contempt. "A kid like you with this kind of cash? No way. You stole it, didn't you?" Karen's voice drips with venom, her eyes narrowing as she sizes up Maya's skin color. The crowd around them starts whispering, phones already out, recording every second of this nightmare. Maya's heart pounds as she tries to explain. "It's my savings and birthday money. I earned this," she pleads, her voice cracking. But Karen isn't listening. With a smug grin, she grabs her walkie-talkie and barks, "Security, get to the front now, and call the cops. We've got a thief here." Maya's world collapses. Tears stream down her face as she begs to call her dad, but Karen snaps, "Save your sob story for the police, sweetheart. You're not fooling anyone." But here's the kicker. Karen has no idea she's just lit a match that's about to burn her entire career to the ground. In less than 30 minutes, she'll come face to face with the one man she never should have crossed. Maya's father, a billionaire tech mogul who owns half the mall. And when he walks through those doors, Karen's smug confidence will shatter like cheap glass. Meet Maya Thompson, a straight-A student at Lakeside Academy, Seattle's most elite private school. She rides the bus, shops at Target, and earns her allowance through chores, completely unaware that her dad, Daniel Carter, is the mastermind behind Carter Tech, a $10 billion AI empire. Today, Maya just wanted to make her mom smile with a special gift. Instead, she's about to learn a brutal lesson about prejudice in America, and spark a reckoning that'll shake the city to its core. Buckle up, because this story's about to blow your mind. Let's rewind and get to know Maya Thompson, the 15-year-old at the heart of this explosive story. Maya's the kind of kid who lights up a room with her infectious smile and unstoppable drive. A sophomore at Lakeside Academy, Seattle's top-tier private school, she's a straight-A student with a passion for art and a knack for acing every debate club showdown. But Maya's not your typical privileged teen. She lives in a cozy two-bedroom craftsman house in Capitol Hill, rides the city bus to school, and shops for clothes at thrift stores or Target. Her biggest worry? Saving enough pocket money to buy her mom something special for her parents' 20th wedding anniversary. What Maya doesn't know is that her modest life is a carefully crafted illusion, designed by her dad to teach her the value of hard work and humility. Maya's dad, Daniel Carter, is no ordinary parent. At 45, he's the billionaire founder of Carter Tech, a Seattle-based tech giant that powers half the AI algorithms running your smartphone apps. With a net worth of $10 billion, Daniel could buy private jets or beachfront mansions, but he drives a beat-up 2010 Honda Civic and wears sneakers from Costco. Why? Because he grew up in a working-class family in Tacoma, scraping by on food stamps, and he swore his daughter would never take wealth for granted. Daniel's wife, Lisa Carter, a third-grade teacher at Madison Elementary, is in on the plan. Together, they've raised Maya to believe they're just a regular middle-class family, with no hint of the empire behind their name. For 3 years, Maya's been squirreling away every dollar she could. $1, $200 from birthday gifts, $800 from her straight-A report card bonuses, and another $2,000 from her part-time gig steaming lattes at a local coffee shop. Her goal? A $5,000 sapphire necklace from Sparkle Gems at Pacific Place Mall, the perfect anniversary gift for her mom, who's always admired it in the store's display case. Maya spent weeks planning this moment, practicing how she'd walk into that fancy store with confidence, her savings tucked neatly in a blue envelope. This wasn't just about a necklace, it was about proving she could set a goal, work hard, and make her parents proud. But the moment Maya steps into Sparkle Gems, the air shifts. The store's glittering chandeliers and polished marble floors scream luxury, but the vibe turns ice cold as soon as she approaches the counter. Sarah Mitchell, a sales associate with a fake smile and a judgmental stare, sizes Maya up from head to toe. "Can I help you?" Sarah asks, her tone implying Maya doesn't belong. Maya, unfazed, points to the sapphire necklace in the case. "I'd like to buy that one, please," she says, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. Sarah's smile vanishes. "That's $5,000. Are you sure you're in the right place?" Her words cut like a knife, laced with condescension. Maya pulls out her envelope of cash and her Lakeside Academy ID, explaining it's her savings and gift money. But Sarah's eyes narrow. This much cash? From a kid like you? She scoffs, her voice dripping with suspicion. Before Maya can respond, Sarah presses a button under the counter and mutters into her headset, "Karen, you need to get out here. We've got a situation." Maya's heart sinks as the word situation echoes in her ears. She came here to make her mom proud, but now, she's about to face a storm she never saw coming. The atmosphere in Sparkle Gems at Pacific Place Mall grows heavier by the second, like a storm cloud ready to burst. Maya Thompson, just 15 years old, stands frozen at the counter, her hands clutching a blue envelope stuffed with $5,000 in hard-earned cash. Her dream of buying a sapphire necklace for her mom's 20th anniversary is crumbling under the weight of Sarah Mitchell's accusations. Sarah, the sales associate, has already decided Maya's a problem, her voice sharp as she mutters about suspicious kids. But the real trouble hasn't even started yet. That's when Karen Reynolds, the store manager, strides out from the back office, her heels clicking like a countdown to disaster. Karen's in her late 40s, with a stiff blonde bob and a face that screams authority. She's the kind of person who thrives on control, and the moment her eyes lock onto Maya, a young black girl in a thrift store hoodie standing in her pristine store, her lips curl into a sneer. "What's going on here?" Karen demands, folding her arms. Sarah jumps in, her voice low but venomous. "This kid's trying to buy a $5,000 necklace with a wad of cash. Says it's her savings, but I'm not buying it. Looks like she swiped it from somewhere." The accusation hangs in the air, and Maya feels it like a punch to the gut. "I didn't steal anything." Maya protests, her voice trembling but firm. She pushes her envelope across the counter, along with her Lakeside Academy ID and a bank statement showing her savings. "This is my money. I've been saving for 3 years. Birthdays, report card bonuses, my coffee shop job. I just want to buy this for my mom." Her words are clear, her eyes pleading for a shred of fairness. But Karen doesn't even glance at the documents. She leans forward, her voice dropping to a cold whisper. "A kid like you doesn't walk around with $5,000 in cash. Where'd you really get it? Drug money? Shoplifting? I've seen your type before." The words hit Maya like a slap. "My type?" she repeats, her throat tightening. She's never been spoken to like this, never had her honesty questioned so openly. The store's fluorescent lights feel harsher now, the murmurs of nearby customers louder. A few shoppers pull out their phones, recording the scene, but no one steps in. Maya's heart races as she tries again. "Please, just look at my ID. Call my bank if you want. It's all legit." But Karen's made up her mind. She waves away Maya's papers like they're junk mail. "Don't waste my time with fakes," she snaps. "I know a scam when I see one." Karen reaches for her walkie-talkie, her movements deliberate, almost theatrical. "Security, get to the front now. We've got a thief trying to pull a fast one." Maya's eyes widen in panic. "A thief? I'm not a thief," she cries, her voice breaking. "Please, just let me call my dad. He'll explain everything." Karen laughs, a sharp, cruel sound that echoes through the store. "Your dad? What's he gonna do, huh? Tell me another sob story? Save it for the cops." She grabs her phone and dials 911, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "Yes, I need officers at Sparkle Gems in Pacific Place Mall. We've got a young girl here attempting fraud with stolen money. She's getting aggressive, and I need her removed immediately." Maya's world spins. Aggressive? She's done nothing but stand there, trying to explain. Tears spill down her cheeks as the reality sinks in. This woman isn't just refusing to help her, she's trying to destroy her. "Please," Maya whispers, her voice barely audible now. "My dad's name is Daniel Carter. Just call him. He'll fix this." But Karen's eyes gleam with satisfaction. "Nice try, kid. You're not calling anyone until the police sort you out. For all I know, you're working for some gang, thinking a teenager won't raise suspicion." Desperate, Maya fumbles with her phone, her fingers shaking so badly she can hardly type. While Karen's distracted talking to the dispatcher, Maya manages to send a text to her dad. "Dad, I'm at Sparkle Gems. They're calling the cops, saying I stole money. I'm so scared. Please come." She hits send just as Karen notices. "Put that phone down," Karen barks, lunging across the counter to grab it. But it's too late. The message is gone, racing through cell towers to a downtown Seattle skyscraper where Daniel Carter is about to turn Karen's world upside down. The crowd grows thicker, their whispers turning into a low hum of shock and discomfort. Maya stands alone, her dreams shattered, her innocence under attack, with no idea that help is already on the way. Hold up, let's hit pause on this heart-wrenching scene for a second. Can you imagine being Maya right now? A 15-year-old kid, just trying to do something sweet for her mom, humiliated and accused of being a thief in front of a crowd at Pacific Place Mall? It's infuriating, and it's a story too many people know all too well. If you've ever been judged, stereotyped, or treated unfairly because of how you look, where you're from, or who you are, we want to hear from you. Drop your story in the comments below. Every voice matters, and we'll be reading and replying to as many as we can. Let's build a community that stands against this kind of injustice. And if you're as fired up as we are about what's happening to Maya, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Trust us, you're not going to want to skip this. The tables are about to turn in a way that'll leave your jaw on the floor. Karen thinks she's won, but she's got no clue what's headed her way. Share this video with your friends and family to spread the word. Let's make sure everyone sees the epic showdown that's about to unfold. The air in Sparkle Gems at Pacific Place Mall is thick with tension, the kind that makes your skin prickle. Maya Thompson, a 15-year-old with tears streaming down her face, stands at the counter, her dreams of surprising her mom with a $5,000 sapphire necklace reduced to a nightmare. Store manager Karen Reynolds looms over her, smug and unyielding, basking in what she thinks is a victory. She's just called the cops, accusing Maya of theft, and the crowd of shoppers, some filming, others whispering, watches in uneasy silence. Maya's desperate text to her dad, Daniel Carter, has been sent, but Karen's voice cuts through the moment like a blade. "You're not going anywhere until the police haul you out," she sneers, folding her arms with a satisfaction that's almost sickening. Little does she know, a storm is about to crash through those glass doors, and it's got her name on it. 22 minutes after Maya's text, the mall's polished marble floor vibrates with a new energy. Outside, a sleek black Tesla Cybertruck, license plate reading CT001 for CarterTech, screeches to a stop at the curb. The driver's door swings open, and Daniel Carter steps out, a 45-year-old titan of industry who looks like he just walked off the cover of Forbes. His $3,000 custom-tailored navy suit fits like armor, and his presence radiates a quiet, unshakable authority. Behind him, Michael Lee, his personal attorney and one of Seattle's most feared legal sharks, adjusts his glasses, a briefcase in hand. Two security guards, ex-Navy SEALs with earpieces and stone-cold stares, flank them, ready for anything. Shoppers outside pause, sensing something big is about to go down. Daniel's face is a mask of controlled fury, his jaw tight as he strides toward Sparkle Gems, every step a promise of reckoning. Inside, the store's chandeliers seem to dim as Daniel pushes through the glass doors. The crowd parts instinctively, like they're making way for a force of nature. Karen, still ranting at Maya about kids like her, doesn't notice the shift until a low, commanding voice cuts through her tirade. "Release my daughter. Now." The words aren't loud, but they land like a thunderclap, silencing the room. Maya's head snaps up, relief flooding her tear-streaked face. "Dad!" she cries, her voice breaking. Karen spins around, her smug grin faltering as she takes in the man before her. Daniel's 6'2" frame towers over the counter, his dark eyes locked on her with an intensity that could melt steel. "Who do you think you are?" Karen scoffs, trying to regain control, her voice betraying a flicker of unease. She's used to intimidating people, not the other way around. Daniel doesn't flinch. He reaches into his suit pocket and pulls out a business card, thick, embossed with gold lettering, and slides it across the counter with the precision of a chess master delivering checkmate. "Daniel Carter," he says, his voice steady but laced with ice, "founder and CEO of CarterTech, and, more importantly, the majority shareholder of Pacific Place Mall. I own 70% of this building, including your little store." Karen's face drains of color, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. She snatches the card, her hands trembling as she reads the words. Daniel Carter, CarterTech, Chairman. The name hits her like a freight train. Carter Tech isn't just a company. It's a $10 billion empire that powers everything from AI assistants to cloud servers across the globe. And this man, the one she just dismissed, isn't just a random dad. He's one of the most powerful people in Seattle. The crowd murmurs, phone still recording, capturing every second of Karen's unraveling. "You accused my daughter of stealing her own money," Daniel continues, his voice rising just enough to carry to every corner of the store. "She showed you her ID, her bank statements, her savings. And instead of doing your job, you humiliated her, called the police, and treated her like a criminal because of the color of her skin." Maya, still shaking, clings to the counter, her eyes fixed on her dad. Karen stammers, I was just following protocol. She had too much cash for a kid." But her excuse sounds pathetic now, drowned out by the weight of Daniel's presence. Michael Lee steps forward, his voice calm but razor-sharp. "Ms. Reynolds, are you aware that racial profiling is a violation of federal law? Or that falsely accusing a minor of theft could land you in a courtroom?" Karen's knees wobble, her confidence shattered. She's not just facing a furious dad, she's staring down a legal and financial juggernaut. Daniel leans in, his voice dropping to a deadly whisper. "You have 5 minutes to apologize to my daughter and cancel that police call, or I'll make sure you never work in retail again." The crowd holds its breath, and Maya's heart pounds with a mix of fear and hope. Karen's world is about to collapse, and the real showdown is just beginning. The polished floors of Sparkle Gems in Seattle's Pacific Place Mall seem to tremble under the weight of Daniel Carter's ultimatum. Karen Reynolds, the store manager who just humiliated 15-year-old Maya Thompson, stands behind the counter, her face ashen, her smug confidence reduced to a quivering mess. Daniel, the billionaire CEO of Carter Tech and majority owner of the mall, has laid down the law, apologized to his daughter and canceled the police call, or face the end of her career. The crowd of shoppers, phones still recording, holds its breath as Karen's world begins to implode. She stammers, I didn't mean any harm," but the words sound hollow, drowned out by the damning truth of her actions. She's crossed the wrong family, and the fallout is about to be catastrophic. Within minutes, the store's phone rings, and it's Robert Hayes, the CEO of Sparkle Gems' parent company, Diamond Elite, who's just been briefed by Daniel's attorney, Michael Lee. Hayes, a 60-year-old retail veteran, arrives at the mall in under 15 minutes, his face grim as he storms into the store. He doesn't bother greeting Karen. Instead, he demands the security footage, which is promptly pulled up on a monitor behind the counter. The video is a death sentence for Karen's career. It shows Maya politely presenting her $5,000 in savings, her ID, and her bank statements, only to be met with Karen's sneers and accusations of theft. Worse, the footage reveals a pattern. Over the past 6 months, Karen has targeted minority customers with extra scrutiny, demanding IDs and receipts she never asked for from white shoppers. The evidence is undeniable, and Hayes' expression hardens. "Ms. Reynolds," Hayes says, his voice cold as steel, "your employment with Sparkle Gems is terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you out, and you're banned from all Diamond Elite properties nationwide." Karen's knees buckle, her hands gripping the counter for support. But I was protecting the store," she protests, her voice rising in desperation. Hayes cuts her off. "You weren't protecting anything. You let your biases run rampant, and you just cost us a $10 million investor." He's referring to Daniel, whose stake in the mall and Diamond Elite gives him the power to make or break the company. The crowd gasps, and Maya, still shaken but standing taller now, watches as justice unfolds. Security guards, the same ones Karen called to detain Maya, now flank her instead. They lead her to her office, where 12 years of personal items, framed photos, Employee of the Month plaques, a coffee mug with Boss Lady scrawled on it, are dumped into cardboard boxes. Her access badge is deactivated, her email account locked, and her name scrubbed from the company directory before she even leaves the building. By 5 p.m. that Friday, Karen's 12-year career in retail is over, her reputation in tatters. The news spreads like wildfire through Seattle's tight-knit retail community. By Monday, every major store chain in the Pacific Northwest knows what Karen did, and why she'll never work in their industry again. Karen's downfall doesn't stop at a lost job. Social media erupts as shoppers who recorded the incident post their videos online, racking up millions of views on platforms like Twitter and TikTok. The hashtag #JusticeForMaya trends nationwide, and Karen's name becomes synonymous with everything wrong with retail prejudice. Her LinkedIn profile, once a proud showcase of promotions and awards, now sits dormant, a digital tombstone for her career. Desperate, she applies for jobs at local boutiques and department stores, but the story follows her like a shadow. Within weeks, she's forced to take a minimum wage gig at a 24-hour convenience store, scanning energy drinks and candy bars for $12 an hour, a far cry from her $80,000 a year manager salary. The irony is brutal. Karen, who accused Maya of being a criminal, now faces a future defined by her own actions. Her prejudice didn't just cost her a job, it erased her legacy and left her as a cautionary tale in retail training manuals across the country. As Karen's boxes are carried out, Daniel wraps an arm around Maya, whispering, "You're stronger than this." But the story's not over. Karen's punishment is just the beginning of a bigger reckoning, one that's about to shake the entire system to its core. The dust hasn't even settled in Sparkle Gems at Pacific Place Mall, but the ripples from Maya Thompson's ordeal are already spreading far beyond the store's glass doors. Karen Reynolds, the manager who falsely accused 15-year-old Maya of theft, has been fired, her career reduced to ashes. But this story isn't just about one woman's downfall. It's about a system that allowed her prejudice to thrive unchecked. Daniel Carter, Maya's billionaire father and the powerhouse behind Carter Tech, isn't content with Karen's termination. He's determined to ensure no other kid faces the humiliation his daughter endured. What happens next isn't just justice for Maya. It's a seismic shift that reshapes retail and law enforcement in Seattle and beyond. Diamond Elite, the parent company of Sparkle Gems, is under fire. With Daniel's influence as a major investor, owning a 70% stake in Pacific Place Mall and a significant share of the company, the board knows they can't afford to ignore this. CEO Robert Hayes, still reeling from the security footage exposing Karen's pattern of racial bias, calls an emergency meeting. Within 48 hours, Diamond Elite rolls out a sweeping overhaul of its operations. Every employee, from part-time cashiers to regional directors, is required to complete 50 hours of mandatory anti-bias training within 60 days. This isn't some check-the-box online course. The training includes in-person workshops led by diversity experts, role-playing scenarios to confront unconscious bias, and real-world case studies, like Maya's, that hit home. Stores now have a new rule. No customer can be accused of suspicious behavior or reported to authorities without documented evidence and approval from two managers. But Diamond Elite doesn't stop there. They hire a team of inclusion specialists to redesign their customer service protocols, with a focus on younger shoppers. Teens like Maya, who might be making their first big purchase, are no longer treated with suspicion. New guidelines require staff to verify IDs and payment methods respectfully, without assumptions based on age or appearance. Sparkle Gems even launches a Youth Shopper Welcome Packet, a glossy booklet explaining store policies, payment options, and customer rights, handed out to anyone under 18 making a purchase. By the end of the year, Diamond Elite's changes become a model for retailers across the U.S., earning praise from consumer advocacy groups and a feature in Forbes for redefining retail fairness. The Seattle Police Department, meanwhile, faces its own reckoning. The two officers who responded to Karen's call, Officer James Tucker and Officer Emily Ruiz, are placed under a microscope after Daniel's attorney, Michael Lee, files a formal complaint. Body camera footage reveals they barely listened to Maya's explanation, ignoring her ID and bank statements before threatening to cuff her. An internal affairs investigation uncovers a troubling pattern. Tucker has a history of disproportionate arrests of minority teens, while Ruiz has used aggressive tactics in similar calls. Both are suspended without pay pending a full review, and their cases spark a city-wide audit of police interactions with minors. The fallout forces the department to act fast. New protocols mandate that officers verify all evidence, IDs, receipts, or statements, before detaining anyone under 18. Every officer must now complete 20 hours of bias training every 6 months, focusing on de-escalation and cultural sensitivity. A civilian oversight board, long demanded by community activists, is established to review complaints of racial profiling, with the power to recommend disciplinary action. Local advocacy groups, energized by Maya's story, hold rallies outside City Hall, chanting, "No more Karens, no more bias." The reforms don't erase the past, but they mark a turning point, proving that one incident can ignite change when powerful voices demand it. Back at Pacific Place, the mall itself transforms. Daniel funds a $500,000 grant to create a shop fair initiative, training mall employees across all stores to treat every customer equitably. Signs pop up in every shop window. All are welcome. Pacific Place stands against discrimination. The changes resonate, with customer satisfaction scores climbing 15% within 3 months. Maya's ordeal, once a moment of pain, becomes a catalyst for a fairer system. But the real transformation is still to come. Maya herself is about to step into a role she never expected, turning her pain into power. The echoes of Maya Thompson's ordeal at Sparkle Gems in Seattle's Pacific Place Mall still linger, but the 15-year-old is no longer the scared girl who stood trembling at that counter. What happened that day, being falsely accused of theft by store manager Karen Reynolds, cracked open the sheltered world her parents had built. Maya's dad, Daniel Carter, the billionaire CEO of Carter Tech, turned her pain into a catalyst for systemic change, but it's Maya herself who's about to take center stage. In the weeks that follow, she transforms from a victim of prejudice into a powerful young activist, proving that even a teenager can spark a movement when armed with courage and purpose. At first, Maya struggles to process what happened. On the 20-minute drive home from the mall, she stares out the window of her dad's beat-up Honda Civic, her mind replaying Karen's cruel words, "A kid like you doesn't have that kind of money." She asks her dad, her voice barely above a whisper, "Why did she hate me when she didn't even know me?" Daniel pulls over, his heart breaking, and explains the harsh reality of racial bias. "Some people will judge you by your skin before they ever hear your story," he says. "But you get to decide how to respond, with strength, not silence." Those words light a fire in Maya, and she dives headfirst into learning about the world she's been shielded from. Over the next month, Maya becomes a self-taught scholar of social justice. She spends hours at the Seattle Public Library, devouring books on civil rights, systemic racism, and consumer rights. She watches documentaries about redlining and retail discrimination, her notebook filling with scribbled ideas. At Lakeside Academy, she organizes a lunch-hour discussion group, sharing her story with classmates and encouraging them to speak out against unfair treatment. Her teachers notice a change. Maya's always been bright, but now she's fearless, raising her hand to challenge stereotypes in history class or lead debates on equity. But Maya doesn't stop at learning. She acts. With her dad's support, she partners with Carter Tech's nonprofit arm to launch the Youth Empowerment Fund, a $1 million initiative to help teens facing discrimination. The fund offers scholarships for students to attend financial literacy workshops, legal aid for families dealing with unfair treatment, and a 24/7 hotline for kids to report retail or police misconduct. Maya records a PSA for the program, standing in front of a camera in her school's media room, her voice steady as she says, "No one should feel powerless because of who they are. If I can fight back, so can you." The video goes viral, racking up 2 million views on YouTube in a week. At 15, Maya becomes a sought-after speaker. She addresses 500 students at a Seattle youth conference, sharing how her experience taught her to use her voice. "I learned that power isn't just money or status," she tells the crowd. "It's standing up for what's right, especially for those who can't." The audience erupts in applause, and local news outlets dub her Seattle's youngest activist. Back at school, Maya starts a mentorship program, pairing upperclassmen with younger students to teach them their rights as consumers. How to handle a purchase, what to do if questioned unfairly, and who to call for help. Maya's transformation isn't just about her, it's about rewriting the narrative for kids like her. She's no longer the naive girl who walked into Sparkle Gems with a dream. She's a force, using her story to empower others. But her journey's not over. The changes she's sparked are about to ripple even further, touching lives she hasn't even met yet. The story of Maya Thompson's ordeal at Sparkle Gems in Seattle's Pacific Place Mall has already reshaped the store and the city's police department, but its impact is far from over. What started as one 15-year-old's humiliating experience has ignited a movement, rippling through Seattle and beyond, touching thousands of lives. Maya's transformation into a young activist, backed by her billionaire father Daniel Carter's influence, has turned a single incident into a rallying cry for justice, fairness, and empowerment. The community response is nothing short of electric, proving that one voice, especially a teenager's, can spark change when it's amplified by collective action. Within days of Maya's story hitting social media, the hashtag Justice for Maya explodes, trending across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram with over 5 million posts. Teens and parents from every corner of the U.S. share their own stories of being unfairly targeted in stores, profiled for their race, age, or appearance. A 16-year-old from Chicago posts about being followed by security at a mall. A mom in Atlanta recounts her son being accused of stealing a $20 hoodie he'd already paid for. These stories, once buried in shame, flood the internet, creating a digital tapestry of shared pain and resilience. Maya's viral PSA for the Youth Empowerment Fund, viewed 2 million times, becomes a beacon, encouraging kids to speak out. "Your story matters," she says in the video, and thousands take her words to heart. Seattle's community groups seize the moment. The local NAACP chapter organizes a series of Know Your Rights workshops at community centers, drawing crowds of 300 teens and parents per session. These workshops teach practical skills: how to document unfair treatment, what to say if questioned by store staff, and how to file complaints. Volunteers hand out pocket-sized cards listing legal resources, including the Youth Empowerment Fund's hotline, which logs 1,000 calls in its first month. Meanwhile, student activists at Lakeside Academy, inspired by Maya's mentorship program, launch a citywide campaign called Shop Equal, petitioning malls to adopt anti-bias policies. Their petition gathers 10,000 signatures in 2 weeks, landing on the desk of Seattle's mayor. The media can't get enough. The Seattle Times runs a front-page feature titled "Teens Stand Against Prejudice Sparks Retail Revolution," detailing how Maya's story has pressured Pacific Place Mall and other retail hubs to prioritize fairness. CNN invites Maya for a 10-minute segment, where she speaks with poise, saying, "No one should feel like a criminal for shopping while black or young." The clip garners 3 million views online, amplifying the call for change. Diamond Elite, Sparkle Gems' parent company, wins a national award from the Retail Council of America for its new anti-bias training and youth-friendly policies, a direct result of Maya's case. Malls in 20 states adopt similar measures, citing Seattle as the blueprint. Local businesses feel the shift too. Coffee shops and bookstores in Capitol Hill display "Shop Fair" stickers, signaling their commitment to equitable treatment. Foot traffic at Pacific Place rises by 12% as shoppers, inspired by the mall's reforms, return with confidence. Community forums, hosted by Daniel Carter's $500,000 Shop Fair grant, draw 2,000 attendees over 3 months, fostering dialogue between retailers, police, and residents. These changes aren't just cosmetic. They're rewriting how businesses and communities interact, proving that fairness isn't just right, it's good for the bottom line. Maya's story has become a spark, igniting conversations and actions that reach far beyond Seattle. But the final chapter is still unfolding, and it's about to bring a powerful lesson for us all. How one moment of courage can change the world, and what we can do to keep that momentum going. 3 months after the storm that shook Sparkle Gems in Seattle's Pacific Place Mall, Maya Thompson walks back through those same glass doors, her head held high. The 15-year-old who once stood trembling, falsely accused of theft by store manager Karen Reynolds, is now a confident young woman. Today, she's here to finish what she started, to buy that $5,000 sapphire necklace for her mom's 20th wedding anniversary. The staff greets her with warmth, handing her a youth shopper welcome packet and processing her purchase in under 5 minutes. Maya smiles as she tucks the velvet box into her backpack, but this moment is about more than a gift. It's a victory, a testament to her resilience and the sweeping changes she's helped spark. Maya's journey, from a humiliated teen to a national symbol of courage, has transformed not just her life, but an entire community. And now, it's time to wrap this story with lessons we can all carry forward. Maya's ordeal exposed the ugly truth of prejudice, but it also showed the power of standing up. Karen's career collapsed, retail policies were rewritten, and Seattle's police department faced a reckoning, all because one girl refused to stay silent. Her dad, Daniel Carter, the billionaire behind Carter Tech, used his influence to demand justice, but it was Maya's voice, amplified through her Youth Empowerment Fund and viral speeches, that turned pain into progress. She's no longer the naive kid who walked into that store. She's a leader, inspiring thousands to demand fairness. As she leaves Sparkle Gems, the mall's Shop Fair signs catch her eye, a reminder that her fight has made shopping safer for every teen in Seattle. So, what can we take from Maya's story? Here are 3 lessons to apply in your own life. First, speak out against injustice. If you see someone being unfairly treated, at a store, school, or anywhere, don't stay silent. Use your phone to record, ask questions, or report it to someone with authority. Your voice can make a difference. Second, know your rights. Teens, take 10 minutes to learn what you're entitled to as a consumer. Check out resources like the Youth Empowerment Fund's website, which offers free guides on handling retail disputes. Knowledge is power. Third, use your privilege to lift others. Whether it's your time, money, or platform, share it with those who face barriers. Mentor a younger kid, donate to a cause, or amplify someone's story online. Small actions add up. This story doesn't end with Maya walking out of that store. It lives on through you. If Maya's courage moved you, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community of over 500,000 people fighting for fairness. Share this video with your friends, family, or anyone who needs to hear it. Let's get #JusticeForMaya trending again and keep the conversation alive. Drop a comment below. How will you stand up against prejudice in your own life? Maybe it's calling out a biased comment or supporting a local business that champions equality. We're reading every single comment, and we'll shout out the best ones in our next video. Maya's fight proved that one person, no matter how young, can change the world. But the work isn't done. There are more Karens out there, more systems to fix. So, keep watching, keep sharing, and keep pushing for a world where everyone's treated with respect. Stick around for our next story. It's another jaw-dropping tale of justice you won't want to miss. Let's make fairness the new normal, together.